You know, normally I don't like taking the bus because it's one of those methods of transport where it's like you just get lost faster. You have to know where you're going. But I have learned to embrace the slowness of the bus because it allows me to slow down, and that when you order a cab, they call you and you gotta try to understand a dialect of Chinese. And then not only that, you gotta go. Once they call you, they're basically there. And if you don't go right away, then they start charging you an extra fee. So, you know what? I like to slow down a little bit. This semester, I'm trying out taking the bus. It's gonna take 2 hours to get to Shuangjing. But, no, it's gonna suck. I'm not gonna lie. You're taking the bus. You're gonna be jostled around, put into all sorts of corners and touching things that all sorts of other people have been touching. So, yeah. Not the cleanest, but good enough. There you go. 2 hours begins.
The next stop is
There you go. First stop, first transfer. Now to find the 345 so we can get the 300, which will take us all the way to Shuangjing. Yeah. Remember, there are two different types of 300s. There's a 300 Kwai and a 300 normal. We want the 300 Kwai. Sorry, I'm not looking at the 300. It's the 345. Looks like they're standing, and this is the one that takes like 45 minutes to get to the next stop.
车辆起步，请扶稳坐好。刚上车的乘客。
Back into the crush of the city. There we go. Nothing like standing for 40 minutes with your backpack on. Back into the crush of the city. People all over the place, rushing, going. There is a Beijing speed, I tell you. You come to this city. I'm not sure if it's like this in other cities, Chinese cities, or even other cities in general. But like Beijing, it always seems like you're trying to walk faster than the other person. Not necessarily to beat them, but just to get out of the way faster. Down to the pit we go. The one good thing about the next bus is that it's 300 fast, or the 300 Kwai, so that's the double-decker bus here in Beijing. And that one, typically there's a lot more seats available. Sometimes, most of the time. Other times, it can be packed just as every other bus. I guess I could take the subway, but what fun would that be? Oh, you walk by as a waft of shit smell. Oh, and it's not like those ginkgo berries or whatever it is that's so common these days. So I have a question for my Chinese viewers. This might seem very silly. Chengdu Xiao Chuar. What makes a chuar Chengdu chuar? Are there different spices that they use? Is there a different way? And how long does it take for something that is Chengdu Xiao Chuar to become Beijing Xiao Chuar because they're in Beijing? And wouldn't the Beijing spices, given it's the same country, be more convenient than the Chengdu spices? That's my question. There you go. Into the depths of Beijing. It's just one level. We're underneath the highway. We're coming up to our destination right here, to the Sanbai Kwai, the 300 bus. The worst thing for it to happen is for it to arrive or depart just as you're arriving, and then they take every 10 minutes, or they arrive every 10 minutes. That is not us. This is us. Right on time. Kwai Nei. There you go, that's the one. That's the ticket. She's saying get out of the way. Load over there, foreigner. Careful. There we go. Double-decker bus, something I don't have in Canada very much. Push your way through to the top. Oh, hey. Always room. Sometimes. Lots of times there's room. Sometimes there isn't. Anyhow. Oh, easy. And we're sitting. We're good. So I have traveled quite a bit, and I'll tell you, there's one thing. I actually wrote an article years ago that says like the best window or best TV screen, the best screen in the world was the bus window or like a traveling window. So whether it was like an airplane's a little bit different, of course, because you're really high and nowhere else to go. Hard to get off too. But bus windows, motorcycle windows, car windows even. Car windows a little bit different because yeah, there's a lot more, I guess, I would say there's a lot more anxiety because of how close you are and how much you have to pay attention to what's going on in the traffic. But with a bus, especially like one of these buses, the city buses, I mean, basically just sit back, relax, and let things go their way. Within the city, it's mostly flat ground here in Beijing, should be okay with that.
车辆起步，请扶稳坐好。刚上车的乘客请往里走，持卡请刷卡，无卡请投币。本车支持刷码乘车。前方到站是静安庄西。去往地铁12号线、地铁17号线西坝河站的乘客，请在本站下车。
The next stop is
静安庄西。
Hard to simultaneously translate. The one thing I would say, if you ever, when you come to China, if you're coming to China, is to, when you first set up your bank account, to make sure that they get your name right. Because I had problems for years with WeChat because the name of my passport and the name in WeChat and the name of my passport and the name of the bank were different. And all they had done is they swapped it around. There is no shortage of foreigners who've had this same sort of issue. So when you go to the bank to first set up your account, and the reason why you have to do this in the connection with WeChat or Alipay is because WeChat and Alipay will ask for passport verification. Now, I don't remember setting up Alipay, to tell you the truth, but WeChat, I remember I couldn't buy things from Jingdong for a very long time, or Taobao, or one of them, because I wasn't able to pay for things due to that sort of naming issue. So when you come to China, when you go to the bank, when you first open the bank account, make sure that they got your name right, your family name, your given name, and that they haven't just put it into one block or they haven't switched the order. So, little fair warning to those who are thinking about coming to China. With that, once you get that all set up, you connect WeChat and Alipay. After that, you can rent bicycles, you can ride transportation, subways, buses, pay for tickets and everything. Your life becomes a lot easier. Now, if you're wondering, hey, doesn't that mean that they're tracking everything? Yes. Yes, it does. Some people are able to read on the bus or even on an airplane. I'd actually rather look outside the window, especially with the bus. It's one of the reasons I like taking ground transportation. Even bus or train, both are okay. But being able just to think for a little while, getting away from the literature, getting away from the screens, getting away from books and stuff like that. Well, it's my preference. Here we are entering into the famous district where there's a Chanel sign. Oh, and Guomao. That's the Chanel sign. It's been there for years. They change it, I think, every week, maybe every month. And there is Guomao, all the big towers and CCTV. Alright, so about an hour and a half after we left Shahe, we are now arriving in Shuangjing, all for the princely cost of, what, 6 kwai, maybe 10 kwai, $2? Can't argue too much with that price. And to be honest, the cab, it would cost 100 renminbi, $20, and it would take an hour and a half. So, and sometimes like these cab drivers, they weren't very good anyway, so it would be, sometimes it's more comfortable just to take the bus and not worry about having to deal with a cab driver screaming at one of his exes or the telemarketer or something like that. Alright, get ready because we'll arrive and then we'll park really quickly. Oh yeah. Let's go. We are done. Back into the Jinga Bay, the Jinga Shuang, the double well district. Shuangjing, 2 wells. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Ah yes, good old Shuangjing Qiao. The bridge of so many pictures. The noise, the pulse, the fragrance. Have they redone these stairs again? My God, that is loud. I don't know if you can hear that. That's pretty common, pretty typical. We got some Chinese tourists looking out at all the traffic that's coming into the city, going north. We'll stop too, we'll take a picture. May as well. Bye, Gajao. Oh, they are Southerners, that's where they're from. There we go. They are from the south of China. We can tell. Don't drop your camera, that would suck. There you go. I'm not sure if this is common these days or not, but a lot of the Chinese people I've met, granted a lot of them live in big cities, but they all come from small towns. They can't tell directions like north, east, west, south. And I'm starting to think, like, when did I actually learn how to use those directions? Like, even when I was in Australia, I remember having a couple conversations where people like, it's to the left, it's down the street, it's on the right. You're going, well, which way is right? Which way is left? Which way do you go? I don't think I learned how to use those directions until I started working on farms back in Canada, and then also in Australia when I was working on the farms there, but more so in Canada when I was working for my uncle on his farm. So yeah, apparently a lot of people don't know how to tell directions. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Give the video a like, a thumbs up, tells the YouTube algo I'm doing something right. Drop a comment below. What else do you want to see? What else interests you? Any other things, aspects about China that you want to learn more about? Let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Thanks again, folks. We'll do this again. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, listen to the podcast, subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.